Why do I love credit unions? And we're going to really focus on credit unions on this call. They are relationship bank. They are relationship based. They will go off the relationship with you more so than you're just what's on paper about you, right? There's more to your story than what shows on paper, and credit unions are about that life. AI and algorithms are almost non-existent compared to big banks. The Chase, the Wells Fargo, the US banks, all of these things have algorithms in place. Most credit unions don't have that. They do have algorithms. They do have automatic approvals, but most of the approvals are done on the back end with underwriting. There's less red tape usually as well. Bad credit, fair credit friendly. For example, if you have a bankruptcy over 2 years old, you can go to PenFed and get a credit card. There's a lot of people that won't be able to get that, but you can. PenFed is one of those, right? Double dipping. What is double dipping? Well, when you're applying for multiple credit products with one hard pull. So that means you could apply for a credit card, they're going to hard pull you, but then you could also apply for a HELOC and a personal line of credit and a personal loan. You could apply for everything and just have one hard inquiry. So when people say double dipping, they're utilizing that one inquiry for multiple credit products, right? And that's a really good strategy in knowing which banks and credit unions do that. Prepaid cards, we're going to go over that strategy tonight. Most of you guys, that's going to be brand new too. Some of you are going to know about it. But we're talking more than just Navy Federal on this call about that, okay? Co-op agreements so you can bank anywhere. Case in point, Alaska Credit Union. You can go to Washington State and use credit unions in there with no fees, right? There's co-op agreements. A lot of these credit unions have that, okay? So you can actually go to another ATM without having the fees. So just because you're not based in the state doesn't mean you still can't have a banking relationship with whatever credit union using another credit union if you have to build data points, and then you can transition into that credit union that you're with then. So banks versus credit unions, what's the difference, right? Banks are for profit, credit unions are nonprofit, okay? So this is gonna be owned by members, which is you, right? Over here at Bank of America and Chase, they have shareholders, right? And so it's all about the profit, not about the person, where in the credit union, it's more people-based, right? Must qualify for a membership. So there are credit unions that you're not going to be able to get into if you're not affiliated with a certain organization or a certain location or a certain place of employment, right? So this is more exclusive, is credit unions. Anyone can be a customer at a bank. Higher fees and interest rates on loans, much higher at banks, lower at credit unions. May have limited product offerings, but I'm going to also put something in here. They may have more unique offerings. Okay, and we'll talk about that as well with the credit union side. Diverse array of credit products with big banks, but with credit unions, you'll have more niche products at specific credit unions. So that's something that's not listed on this graph that I wanted to mention. More personalized customer service, absolutely at a credit union, but you can still get that in a bank. You just need to really focus on having that banking relationship with a banker. Okay. And obviously this is going to be more cookie cutter. And then obviously what they're insured by, you guys can dig deeper into NCUA or the FDIC if you want. I wanted to show you guys the top 10 biggest credit unions, and you guys can take a picture of that. Navy Federal is the biggest. Okay. SECU is the second and PenFed's the third. BECU, Boeing Educational Credit Union out there in the great state of Washington is really huge, right? Boeing is a big place, big company, right? And that's their credit union. Schools First, First Tech, we've talked about that. Alliance, some of you guys know about Alliance out there in Chicago. But then there's other ones that people have never heard of. But what's really cool is you can see how much assets they have and how much they could possibly lend out, okay? And you could do a lot of this type of research. A lot of people don't think about doing the research at the credit union. Liquidity is a real thing. How much liquidity does the bank have? How much are they willing to lend out? Are they more conservative? Are they more liberal with lending? Those are things that you need to know before you actually start banking with a bank. When you're targeting a credit union, what are the products that I like that the credit union offers? What do I want to target? Is this a viable option for me? These are things that you need to consider before having a banking relationship with these credit unions. A lot of people don't think about that. They just dive in based on what they hear on YouTube or a mentorship course or a Facebook group. There is no right way to do this. It's what's right for you, right? And some of these plays that are out there, they're actually not talked about because a lot of people don't want to ruin them. So it takes a lot of research and networking to find out what they are. So when you have them, really appreciate them and utilize them. Like Shamori said on a call the other day, listen, the moment that you hear about it, tomorrow it could be gone. So it's all, they reward action takers. Like look at PSECU or, Pennsylvania, that credit union up in Pennsylvania. Everybody got the line of credit. Everybody got the credit card, stated income, boom, approved. Next thing you know, people are getting their accounts shut down, asking for proof of income, right? All that. So that, it's like cops and robbers, right? The robber, but then the cop comes and then the robber finds a new way. I'm not trying to make people feel like they're illegal for banking. I'm just saying, like, there's always loopholes. There's always great programs. And when people find out about them, everybody else finds out about them. So just know that. Bank rate. So we're going to talk about the top credit unions out there. Most people think it's Navy Federal that was ranked #1. Well, it's not. Let's look at it. It's actually Alliant in Chicago. So out of 2022, these were the top 8 credit unions. Alliant. Most people never knew that American Airlines has a credit union, and it's actually a really good credit union. Quorum Credit Union. Navy Federal came in 4th place. Even though they're the biggest and the best, in my opinion, they still were ranked #4. Bethpage, Connexus, really good one in the Midwest. PenFed, I think this is out there in Wisconsin and Iowa, and it might be in the Chicagoland as well. PenFed, and then all of my great Texans in the building, RBFCU. RBFCU has personal and business banking. PenFed is just personal. Connexus, it should just be personal. Navy Federal has business and personal. And the other 3, I'm not too familiar with if it has banking business or not. I think Alliant may, but I got to double check. So what do you have to get if you don't live in the state? This right here, write this down. ACC, the American Consumer Council, is an organization. The American Consumer Council is a nonprofit membership organization that's dedicated to consumer education, advocacy, and financial literacy. If you don't live in the state, or if you aren't in the military, or you don't work at a specific place, this right here is the Willy Wonka golden ticket to get you into that credit union for the most part. Or there's other ones, but this is kind of like the prime daddy of them all. If you're an ACCU member, then you'll be able to get into pretty much any and all credit unions out there. And you can actually Google which credit unions does American Consumer Council get me into, and there'll be a lot of them provided right there. All right. So what are some of my favorite credit unions? You guys can take a screenshot of this. Well, somebody asked about condo HELOCs, but there is condo loans with Chevron Credit Union. Really good one. They actually have really good lines of credit, really good real estate projects, really good real estate investing credit products. I meant First Tech is going to be a conservative lender, but if you have a stock portfolio, you can have up to $1 million in lending with them. Navy Federal, we all know what they are. They're the GOAT. American Heritage out there in Philly, really good business and personal, massive limits, massive. I mean, I think they even have a 120-month personal loan, which is crazy to me. But Andrews out there in the DC area, NIHFCU, really solid. You can actually do business banking with them anywhere in the country. Andrews, you can't. You have to be in the DMV area, DC, Maryland, Virginia. NIHFCU, you can do the American Consumer Council, what I just talked about, and you could be in California doing personal and business banking with them. Now, a cool thing about the this credit union right here is they actually don't have a business debit card. So they do stated income for the credit card on the business side, but we'll talk more about that in business funding. This is kind of like my secret weapon that I use. I mentioned it already. WECU, Whatcom Educational Credit Union. You have to be in the state of Washington to bank with them. If you're not in the state of Washington, knowing somebody in the state of Washington, having mail sent to that address when you apply would help you get into them. Unify, really good if you're rebuilding your credit. They have $50,000 credit lines, both personal line of credit and credit cards, really solid, and $50,000 loans. When I joined with them, I actually got a soft pull approval for a $10,000 line of credit right when I opened up my account. They just offered it to me, and I was like, there's got to be no hard pull. They're like, no hard pull. It's approved right now. Do you want it? Sign for it. Boom, sign for it. Got it. And then PenFed. You guys know about PenFed. I've talked a lot about them on my YouTube channel. Really good. Credit cards, high limits. You can have fair, rebuilding your credit, and really go in great with them. What I also like about them, they're BK friendly, and they have soft pulls for their lines of credit and their personal loans. So that's really helpful as well.